Well, it looks like we're back live on here again. I think this is now back live. It's such a pain here. Let's see. I gotta now share the link again. So hopefully everything is going. The last stream I was doing, it was like buffering on the example that I was looking at, uh, and then it was like it screwed me. So I couldn't tell if it was working, but I guess it was working the whole time. So it was like, ugh. So I'm not even going to look at that thing anymore. And I guess if it's fucked up, guys, and it's buffery, just say in the comments it's messed up, it's buffery, and so that I know it's doing something. Because when I look at that example one on the actual video, because it was doing that for 5 minutes straight, it wouldn't stop. So I thought it wasn't working. Come chat with me live now on YouTube. I now have to post the links all around again. Let's see. What a pain in the ass. But I'll do it all again. Let's see. All the links now are no good. So now I have to post everything again like a fool, everywhere. And delete the ones. Because the old ones now just go to, the old one. It's now just a video people can look at. Let's see. Post it in the DVD group. Like I said, guys, now we're starting all over again, posting the new link everywhere. And I have to do that stuff too when you can bring like guests on again, when you have like a specific link. I don't remember how you do that. I know there's like a specific link you give people and then they can come on. And I definitely have to do that again too. Let me see. Let me switch to the other profile. Put it on my other group here. Let's see. Put it right here. Just about got everything posted again. Like I said, we're starting all over again, reposting all these links. Because all the ones I posted before are now no good. Let's see. Put this right here. Take down this one. I guess I posted that one link twice originally. Let's see, this is the correct one. Okay, so this is shared here. Now I just have to share it on my Facebook, my other Facebook, and then we should have it everywhere, and we don't have to do this anymore. No more sharing these links around. Let's see. The other one is here. Alright, so now everything should be posted. So guys, feel free though to ask any question you guys would like. Sorry though, the last one got screwed up. But like I said, if it's screwed up though, just let me know if it's buffering and stuff like that. But feel free guys to ask any questions you guys would like. Let's see, how's it going? Everything's going good, Jonathan. Thoughts on the new Master of Disguise movie? The movie's 20. Thoughts on the Master of Disguise? The movie's 20 years old now. Yeah, I never liked Master of Disguise. For some reason, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I could never like get into that movie. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those movies where I like tried so many times to like watch it and finish it, and I never had any luck with it. You know what I mean? So it was like one of those type of ones. Let me just share. Oh yeah, I gotta share the thing on Instagram too. But it was one of those things where literally like, I just couldn't get through it. And there's some movies that are like that. I just like, I know I saw it in theaters. I do remember that very well. But even when I saw it in theaters, I don't remember really liking it. It was one of those kind of a weird things. Let's see, here's the link, the correct link. Just share this right here. And share the Instagram one. Let's delete this one. Because you can't edit it. Let's see. Delete. Now you just put the new one up. Put the new link. People see that on Instagram. That should be the correct one right here. Now I'm just going to do this. Come chat with me live on my YouTube and ask me questions. Okay, so now I'll share this. Check this link. That's the correct one. So yeah, let's see, it should be done. Yeah, so now it's all fixed again. So now we start all over again with the whole process of sharing these links around and everything, but at least it's done now. So let's see, Looks and sounds good at the moment. Hey Sean, have you seen the Blockheads in Britain? It's a new Extreme CKY video. Blockheads in Britain? No, I've never seen that. Hey Sean, how are you doing today? Doing good. What do you think about the Winnie the Pooh horror movie coming out? I know the people who make that, who are behind that film. I've made stuff for, shot stuff for them in the past. They make really fun stuff. They're the guys that made like the Tooth Fairy films and like the Leprechaun ones, like Leprechaun's Revenge. A lot of those ones that have been in Walmart and stuff that I've showed. So it should get a good release. It should be out in Walmart, I would think, and stuff. But it's crazy to think that that character is now public domain. There's a lot of other characters like that though. Let's see. Hey Sean, long time sub. How you been? Are you going to any state fair soon? Yeah, I think me and my brother are going to go to the San Diego fair sometime next month. It starts like on the 7th of June. So I definitely think we're going to probably go to that. Yeah, a lot of people don't like that the room is dark. Like with the mood lighting or something. Let's see. Hey Sean, how you doing today? Let's see. Is thoughts on the? Is $250 a good price for the Columbia Classics? I don't know. I don't know what that one is worth nowadays. Hey Sean, getting from city of Rango in the center of Chile. I sent you a Facebook message. Look when I'm ready to retire. I'm sending you a monthly shipment of my DVDs collection. I love your free movies. I'm not taking them with me. Have you met Millie Bobby Brown? No, I never met Millie Bobby Brown. I never saw like any of the kids from Stranger Things, like any conventions, and I don't think I ever like saw like a panel at Comic-Con or anything like that for the show. I know I saw a panel that David Harbour was at, so I did see like a panel for Hellboy, the remake. So I saw him, but I didn't see anybody else from the Stranger Things, series. Let's see. When I think back to like the early Comic-Con stuff though, like I saw so many people like in the very beginning. Like the coolest one I remember seeing was seeing the one the panel for Superbad. To me that was the coolest one just because it was like basically, before, all those people got popular. So you were seeing like, they were basically introducing the actor that played McLovin to people for the first time. And it was like one of those kind of people, when you saw him, you just knew right away that this guy was going to be like a success or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. You just kind of knew and everything with this guy. Hopefully everything is playing okay now. It's just doing that same buffer. It does that buffery stuff here and there, but hopefully everything is going okay for you guys. Let's see. Let me try and make sure I don't miss anything here. If you could live as long as you'd like, how long would you like to choose to live? I don't know. The thing about like living forever is, I feel like you would it'd be a little bit like Bicentennial Man, where you'd see like all these other people die around you, and it would be like really sad and depressing, and you kind of would rather wish that you weren't living that long. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, if you would live forever, would you really want to live forever as like an old sack of shit? You know, like if it was like falling apart. Like that's the other thing I think of too. Like, almost like if you could live forever and like stay at like a younger age, like maybe like say at like 60 tops or something. You know what I mean? Or like 70 tops. You know what I mean? Like not get like keep aging after that. Because like, if you see people that are like when they're like 100 and something, they're like really squiggled up and like really old. So it's like if you live forever, it'd be like in like was it the Time Machine movie? Like you I don't know, you just get like real like dusty and I don't know. So I think you'd probably want to live to about 100 tops. Because like I said, it'd become like Bicentennial Man too, and everyone around you, unless everyone was going to live forever, would be like dead. And you'd be just like, it'd be all these weird memories of all these deaths and stuff. It's like when they make all those vampire movies about people that live forever that are like real depressed because everyone else around them is dead, that they didn't turn to vampires. Let's see. Have you seen Auntie Lee's Meat Pies? That was kind of a fun movie. Why was Scream Bloody Murder a bad experience? Yeah, I can't really talk a lot about all of that, but it was just like that expression, like stepping on your toes. It was a lot of that. Hey, Sean, can you get into why the Scream Bloody Murder was such a negative experience? Been watching. Like I said, I can't talk about it because of NDAs and all this stuff. Any plans to do an update on my favorite DVD Blu-ray collection series? Yeah, I need to do more update stuff, videos like that again. Hopefully, I'll start getting back into doing that stuff again. What's your guess as to why Valerie's family, the Hogan family, isn't on DVD? It's probably something to do with like the the rights to the show or who owns it, because a lot of times that has to do with that, or sometimes there's certain shows that they just feel like, I guess, wouldn't sell well or something like that. But I don't know. It's very strange with certain things. I feel like though nowadays with stuff that when they do video on burn on demand, I think kind of anything could come out though. I'm doing a parody video and you and your mom, bald and high pitched femme voice with loose skin. But what should I focus on to portray your mom? Thoughts? I don't know. Hey Sean, what's your most anticipated movie for the rest of the year? I don't know. I feel like the most anticipated thing right now that I want to watch, honestly, is the thing with Rowan Atkinson. I think it's Man versus Bee. Like, I feel like that's like, I don't know. I feel like right now I just need something really stupid like that to watch. Just like a really fun, really ridiculous, dumb show. It just, to me, like, I was watching it laughing, thinking like, this is the stupid stuff I miss. Like really dumb, stupid stuff like that. Have you ever been to Manila? No, I've never been to the Philippines. Hey Sean, I'm crazy. I'm thinking that Jackass Forever is too gross. It was a little grosser than some of the past ones. It definitely was. I felt like they had to rely a lot more on the gross because of like everything that happens and going on in the world with, especially when they were shooting that. They couldn't do a lot of the man on the street stuff with random people anymore, and that proved that a lot of that stuff was real. Because otherwise they would have just had actors doing it and pretend like it was real, but they didn't. And which I give them credit for that. They didn't do it. They could have faked all of that and pretended like they were shooting it, but they didn't do a lot of the man on the street in that one. So my prediction is that they will do a Jackass 5 too as well, because Jackass 4.5 did so well, is doing so well on Netflix. And also, I think that they need to do another one with the new set of people with messing with people on the street. They didn't get to, like I said, they didn't get to do any of that. And that was such a loss because that was some of the best stuff, and everyone knows it with Jackass, was when they mess with people on the street. Like, I love that. I love that stuff. I know nowadays, though, things in the world have gotten a lot more PC since the first movie. I mean, since the last movie, since Jackass 3. So the man on the street stuff would definitely have to get toned down. I mean, even if you look at Impractical Jokers, the original seasons of that show were much more R-rated with what they were doing. The show got pussified, and I noticed that as you look at that, and that's what happened to a lot of stuff. It's interesting to see it. It's interesting to see. I hope a lot of that stuff dies down to a sense, because it's like it is starting to ruin a lot of comedy nowadays. Just so you know, like the movies that I'm doing are not that. So we'll see what happens. They're definitely much more like 80s and 90s, like wacky and ridiculous jokes, and they're much more like lighthearted and fun, and they're not afraid to poke fun at things like the way people used to be. So who knows? Let's see. Eat. Going to. Did you see Arrow Video's July and August releases? I think I saw that. Have you ever drank a 40? No, I don't really drink alcohol. Did you see Street Fighter movie in theaters? The original, the one with Raul Julia. That was like 94. Was that 94? Let me look. I think it was. I don't think I did see that in theaters. Let's see. Street Fighter movie. 94. Yeah, I'm sort of a savant for some reason with dates. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, if you tell me a movie, I don't know what it is. I have this weird thing. I think I have a picturesque memory where I can remember like seeing the movie and then seeing the date next to it. It's just this weird thing I've always been able to do. I don't know. It's very, very weird. Let's see. Where was I now? Am I crazy to talk about that? Do you have a Letterboxd account I can follow? No, I never got on there. Any plans for Memorial Day? No, nothing major for that. Going to Disneyland anytime soon? I definitely want to go back again. I have not been back in 2 years now, so it is crazy. Watch the horror movie Popcorn. It was good. Oh, that was a great movie. It's one of those ones too you never would have thought unless you like looked into the movie that it was shot in Jamaica. Let's see. You should wear your Morpheus shades on your video on Tuesday. Oh yeah, that would be fun to wear those Morpheus ones. Do you know who's Philip? I don't know that. If you're into horror video games, there's a game called The Quarry coming out next month on the 10th. David Arquette is on the cast as well. That's interesting. Do you agree that Seinfeld is the best sitcom of all time? Oh, that's a great sitcom. I have not seen like all of the episodes though. I have seen though every episode though of the Creators series, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like I absolutely love that though. Man vs. V looks hilarious. I know, I love that. Any thoughts on the Green Room? Yeah, that with I saw it in theaters with the late amazing Anton Yelchin, who was in that movie, and like he died like right after he finished that, and it was just so sad because I feel like Anton was like I feel like with that movie too, if he didn't pass away, it would have got way more of more attention than it did, and I feel like too he was somebody that I feel like was really going to the path of like getting like even bigger and bigger movies, and he was really already was, but I feel like it was going to be even more roles where he was really recognized for how good he was, and I think like right before he passed away, with especially with the Green Room, people really started to see how amazing he was as an actor, and because he started out as a child actor, and a lot of times I think you see somebody as a child actor as they get older, into their mid 20s and stuff, they don't look, not looked at as can they still do it, or can they still bring the charm that they did, or any, that kind of stuff. But no, Anton was amazing. Let's see, does Bei Ling cool to work with? Loved her in Dumplings and Red Corner. Oh yeah, Bei Ling was amazing. Like, just when you guys see like the scenes and stuff with her, they're hilarious. Like, and she was so good at improv too, and was so game for like all the craziness and everything. Where is your back pain? Mostly located in your back, or mainly like in the shoulder blade kind of area is kind of where it is. What do you think of the death of Betty White? Since Betty White was 99, Bob Saget's is the most shocking. Yeah, Bob Saget's is very like it's one of those ones too that has a lot of mystery behind it too, because it's like the fact that he has these bumps on his head too. It seems to me like what must have happened was my guess, of course it's just a guess, is he must have fallen in the shower. Something like that must have happened, or like sometimes honestly they if he got like dizzy in the shower, or as crazy as it is, if the shower is too hot, sometimes if you take too hot of a shower, you can get dizzy getting out of it. Honestly, so I mean, it could have been just like banged his head. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely a mystery to it. It really, really is. I mistaked Adam Carolla for Norm Macdonald and got spooked. When did this happen? If you could have a drawn movie poster like the 80s for a film you directed, which would it be? Oh, well, I actually do have a drawn poster that was done. Ron Bunk had it done for Amityville Karen. So that was really cool. I probably will do a drawn movie poster for Mistletoe Massacre down the line, I'm thinking. But, no, but we do have one for that one, though. Are you a fan of hip hop music? If so, who are your favorite rappers? I do listen to hip hop music, but I don't know like a lot of new stuff though. I really don't. And I kind of like when it comes to music though, like I like a lot of like '90s and stuff like that, and like kind of like Nina Cherry and stuff that's like kind of like dated and like not exactly considered very like very modern whatsoever. Let's see. Any interest in the Taboo box set? I think I saw some of those ones. The first one I think I saw. If you made your own horror movie someday, what would it be about? Oh, I've already done Jackson. I've made like a bunch now. I did, Scream Bloody Murder in May of 2021. July, I did Amityville Shark House with Will Colazo. We co-directed that. And then in August was, Amityville Karen. And then, then after that, in November was Amityville Bigfoot, and that's one with has Eric Roberts in it. And then Woods Witch, which is the one that Robert Lasardo and Tom Sizemore are in. And then the last one I just finished doing, Mistletoe Massacre, is the one with Bei Ling, Tom Sizemore, Todd Bridges, and Ken Davidian. Let's see, and then Scream Bloody Murder has Scout Taylor Compton in that one. I noticed Kevin Smith totally bit your style. The always surprised look. Kevin Smith stole the look from you. I know. I do wonder if Kevin Smith, because he wasn't. I always did that weird look. That's like this sort of strange thing I've always done. So who knows if Kevin Smith saw one of the reviews or something? Who knows if Kevin Smith watches these videos? I've been very surprised to discover some of the people that have looked at these videos throughout the years. It's usually directors and stuff like that, and then like people in this that are, and some actors. A lot of directors though that have looked at these videos. Like there's certain people I just really do, really wonder. then there's just so many little weird things that have happened lately too. Like when certain people have seen stuff, and then I look to it on Instagram and kind of look to see who follows the stories, and then sometimes you look and you're like, this person is looking at it. You're like, what? It's just every so often you see like that, like weird, like sort of surprising things. But who knows? Maybe Kevin Smith saw me making that weird face and was like, oh, this another ex-fat guy. That's the face to make, I guess. Let's see. Are you attending the Monsterpalooza? Yes, I'm going to be. I actually will be there for the first time all the days. So I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday some. So yeah, I'll be there all the different days for that one. They said there was a table in Saget's room that they think he matched his head on, that matched his injuries. Yeah, so that's what I would have thought. Something like that. It's like either tripped or he could have gotten out of the shower and gotten dizzy or any of that type of stuff. That type of stuff happens. I mean, that's probably could have been what would have happened. I started watching your account in 2008. You were showing off your VHS collection in the bins. Do you still have those? Like the Terrific Trips? I do have a lot of the really rare ones. So I do have Terrific Trips. I have like Peanut Butter Solution. I have a lot of those ones. A lot of the common ones I don't. What's crazy though is now those common ones have gone up in value so much. It's just nuts how VHS now has had this like weird comeback again. And now people are like grading the tapes and everything. It's just like, wow. You think back to like the time when people were just taking those tapes and throwing them in dumpsters and taking them dumping them. And now they've had this total comeback. It just shows you it's when you have kind of a hoarder mentality, though, it makes it hard to throw things away. When you kind of realize that like anything can kind of come back again. Even people will like distinctly tell you this is no good. No one's going to get this again. But you never know. There's a chance it might end up coming back again. So I'm curious, since you become a director, do you find it easier to meet women? I assume actresses would get drawn to filmmakers. In a sense, a little bit. Like I do feel like you get like some sort of like little different kind of messages and stuff like that, and a little bit of a just a different way of being talked to a little bit. So yeah, I definitely think that there is a degree of a little different. It's hard to explain, but no, I definitely can tell you that there's a degree of that. Are you still friends with Danny? Yeah, I texted with Danny like a little bit ago, but no, we're hopefully gonna do a video get together again soon because we haven't done like a movie hunting video or anything like that for a really really long time now. You ever see Turbo Kid? My brother I know is a fan of that movie. I don't think I ever watched that though. But like I said, my brother likes that one. Let's see. You look like Theo Von. Yeah, I think a couple people have said that to me, like Theo Von. Theo Von, though, is somebody that I've kind of wanted to get in a movie, like be in one of my films, because I do kind of think he would like fit in the universe of these movies. I don't know if does he act and stuff too. I think he does. Like I've seen him in like hosting TV shows and stuff like that. I guess I don't know if he's ever really acted, but really wanted to get him in one of my movies. I feel like he, like I said, would fit in them. Let's see. Let's see, where was I now? Big fan and respect. I'm a filmmaker. Hey Sean, big fan and respect to you. I'm also a filmmaker editing my first feature film, crime revenge film. Any tips? I would just say like I guess like make sure it's 90 minutes. Like that's the biggest thing like that we came across, like especially with some of these movies, is like these distributors are so set on 90 minutes, like especially with Scream Bloody Murder. Like it was like no, with one of them it was like just like, oh, 90 minutes, gotta be 90 minutes, no matter what, it's gotta be 90 minutes. But then like I was like citing all these examples, like, well, this one was only 73 minutes and it came out from Vertical, and how is this okay? I don't know. It's kind of weird, like, and sometimes when you say that they're like, oh okay. Let's see. Are you Theo Von? Yeah, somebody said, am I Theo Von? Well, I don't have the accent because Theo Von's like, well, I'm Theo Von. Yeah, he kind of used to hide his accent a little bit because he used to host that show, Deal With, well, I think it's You Better Deal With It, the one that Howie Mandel hosted, and it was like a hidden camera show, and like how Alex Mandel was on some of them as well. Like, but I know Theo Von was like the host with Howie Mandel on that one. And I kind of feel like he didn't have as much of an accent on that, or something like that. I think I remember hearing him talk about how he kind of covered it up a little bit or something. Have you ever considered writing a horror movie where you lose a ton of weight but get stuck in a slim body with hideous-looking loose skin? I don't know. Let's see. Have you ever picked up anyone heavier than you? Like picked up anyone heavier than like? No, I'm not very strong. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's the one thing. I'm like I have a lot of back issues and stuff like that. I think it's just from being so heavy in the past and stuff like that. The Goldbergs should have Bev and Murray divorced between seasons. Now I know they got to get rid of Jeff Garland's character on there now and figure out what they're gonna do. I met Jeff Garland years ago. And he was in one of my videos and he was messing around and like he has a certain kind of weird sense of humor. I think he might be a little bit on the spectrum, a little bit honestly too, just from meeting him the way he is, and that might be he just doesn't pick up cues with acting the way he is, just because he was really strange when I met him. He played along well in the video, but it was just ridiculous. And after the camera was off, he played along too. I don't know, but I think some people just don't have correct social cues with certain things, and they just say certain things, and certain things just dart out of their mouth and stuff like that, and they just can't help it. And I think that's probably what Jeff Garland's problem is that some people just literally cannot help it. And like it's either I don't know. It's hard nowadays to know what to do with certain people like that because it's like, am I going to deal with this? Am I just going to turn my head to what he's saying and just accept that he's being kind of weird, or just be like, oh, okay, that's how I don't know. It's an awkward kind of thing nowadays with people like that and what they're going to, especially what they're going to do with the Goldbergs, because it's a very popular show. And it's kind of like it's too bad that what Jeff Garland's done could jeopardize the entire show. You know what I mean? Have you ever any Vegas trips soon? I know my brother really wants to go back. We haven't been for 2 years now, so over 2 years. So hopefully we'll get to go back again. I went back though, for the Ouija. No, not the Ouija's. Night of the Zomghouls. So I did go back for Zomghouls, and that was what was that, March 2021 for that one. So I did go back. I didn't get to do much there though because I was shooting the whole time, and I was like super exhausting shoot. So like I literally didn't. I don't think I did anything when I was out there. It was just kind of like I filmed, did the movie, and then like went to sleep. And that's the one thing. Like when I see a lot of those movies, like behind the scenes, or I see people talking like, oh, I'm directing this movie, and then you see them afterwards like at the bar and like partying and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know how people do that stuff. Like me, when I'm done shooting the movie or whatever, I just like go back to a hotel room or a room and just collapse. Like I'm like dead. Like I don't know how people can like party or do any of that kind of stuff. Let's see. What is the rarest VHS DVD you own, and how much is it worth? One of the rarest ones I think I have is the Camp Cucamonga. That's a super rare one. But it's hard to know offhand. I know Dead Alive is still very rare. That's worth at least $100, $100+. But the Camp Cucamonga one is very rare. Prince of Pennsylvania, that's another one that's very rare. I think that's like $80. I remember buying that for $1 at a pawn shop. That was definitely one of the rarest finds for anything in a really, really long time. I mean, I can't think of anything else since then that has been that rare that I found. Let's see, how come you and Wet Movie used to be chubby? No, that's just what I was. I was just really heavy. Hey Sean, here's a question, buddy. Are you a fan of the film Beverly Hills Brats? And if so, do you own the film? I don't think I've ever seen that movie. Any updates on the films being released? Woods Witch, Bigfoot, and Shark House. Shark House is sold to a very reputable big distributor, so I'm very excited about that. Bigfoot is just about done and ready to get the picture locked. I should be on Sunday getting a link so I can see the cut. I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes so far, but we still have to put in some videos and some vlogs and stuff like that. So once it's all said and done, it'll probably be about an hour, and like we'll probably cut a little bit to get. So it'll probably be about an hour and 45 minutes or so. But that one stars Eric Roberts. So basically, when that's done, then we're gonna have a specific company look at it to see if they're gonna pick the movie up like they did with Shark House as well. But either way, it's gonna come out and it'll be out there and you guys can see it. But Woods Witch, though, that one, though, is going to get really focused on heavily with the editing and wrapping the editing and all that stuff next month, and then have that done into July. Like, a week or two into July is when the plan for that one is for that, to be finished by then. So that's kind of the plans with those. And then Mistletoe right now, Adam Marino, who's the editor, he's doing the sound sync on the movie. It's like syncing, because basically when you shoot the movie, all the sound is recorded on, separately on like a devices and stuff like that, sound recording devices. So he has to go then and sync up all of the dialogue. And we shot with 2 cameras for 95% of the movie, so he has to sync all of that. So right now he's basically just about finished syncing all that, syncing up the stuff for the trailer. So hopefully in the next like 2 weeks or so, we'll have a trailer for Mistletoe Massacre. That's the plan for that one. And we're also planning to have a Woods Witch trailer too, because you guys have not seen an official trailer for Woods Witch either. We're just been kind of playing around with the idea of how to present that movie, and making sure we're using the right clips and the best stuff and stuff for that one as well. What's up, Sean? Question: are you a fan of? I talked about that one. Do you like Western movies? I do, here and there. So it just depends. What do you think of Morbius? I always call it Mobius, but I've not seen that yet. I definitely will be watching it though. Hopefully I'll get a copy to review from Sony. I don't know if they're sending that one or not, but we'll see. If not, though, I'll definitely probably end up picking it up because I really do want to watch that one. Let's see. Let's see. Someone said, watch your mouth. Oh, I don't really watch my mouth anymore in my live streams. I don't really care. Let's see. Any movies on Blu-ray you don't own and want? I don't know. Is Jeff Garlin weird? What do you think? Larry David is weird too? Well, Larry David's kind of an oddball, but I'm a huge fan of Larry David. Like, I love his sense of humor, and I feel very, like, I don't know. I feel sort of like Larry David sometimes. Let's see. Do you watch any Stranger Things? I never really watched that show. How you doing this evening? Everything's going well. Had you heard from Griff first? I haven't talked to Griff in a while. I definitely would love to, to collaborate with Griff again. But Griff is like one of those kind of people that it's like I'm just so, like, thankful for him to have, like, gotten me. Because I feel like if I didn't get, because he was the person that was involved with casting me in Ghostquake, which was the movie that I did for Sci-Fi Channel. And that was one of those movies where I felt like I really learned so much about, like, film production and what it's like on a because basically I was shooting for that movie for 3 weeks, and I really got to talk to the producers on that movie and just sort of see the whole behind the scenes go on of a production. Because normally, if there was a film that I was in, for the most part, it would be like was a smaller, super low budget thing where I'd only be there for like a day or two. But to be there for 3 weeks or over 3 weeks, you kind of feel like you learn everything. And I feel like I'm one of those kind of people that, especially nowadays, I kind of trace like, oh, if this didn't happen, then this wouldn't happen. If this didn't happen, it wouldn't have led to this. And like, oh, if it wasn't for Scream Bloody Murder, then I wouldn't have led into making these films. And I always kind of think of all this kind of stuff. And I do think that if it wasn't for Griff and having that experience, I never would have gotten, I don't know, that was just an experience that I really needed. It was a big thing, and it was I don't know, and as certain people that are huge, people that were very important to me in my life, and for really helping just kind of get me in the right direction in life, and I definitely think that Griff First was one of those people. Let's see, when is Zomghouls coming out? I heard from Will that should be coming out, I think, on video on demand, from what I saw in a post, next month, and then there's going to be a limited edition Blu-ray and VHS for it. Let's see. Hello from Russia. Have you been to New Orleans? Yeah, the one movie that I was just talking about, the Ghostquake one, the Sci-Fi Channel one, that one was shot in New Orleans. Let's see. And what's funny too is there's a movie called like Hot Flashes. If you guys watch that movie with Daryl Hannah, it always weirds me out because I remember I got a copy of that to review. This was years ago, and it was probably a couple years after I did Scream Bloody Murder. I did Ghostquake, and then I watched that movie Hot Flashes, and I'm like, oh my god, the movie was shot in the same gym where Scream Bloody Murder. I mean, I keep saying Scream Bloody Murder, where Haunted High or Ghostquake, because that movie has two different titles, Haunted High or Ghostquake. But I always talk about that movie. But if you guys want to see it, it's for free on Tubi. Just search Ghostquake. But it did have the other name, Haunted High, though, when it airs on Sci-Fi. Let's see. Will you put Herb in a film? Yeah, my dad's actually in Amityville Karen. He's playing a really fun part. And it was really during, the time when everything was really bad in the world, too, worse than it was. So we had to kind of separate him because I didn't want to bring him to the actual set. So we shot it at my house, and it was him with Carl Solomon. And you guys can see Carl Solomon in Jackass 4.5. He's one of the naked guys in that group. But Carl Solomon, it was like a really fun scene. So my dad's in that one. My parents are both in Scream Bloody Murder, though, at the end. And then that my parents are also both in Amityville Shark House, which is really exciting, especially because that one's going to get an enormous release. So, I mean, enormous. So, I mean, like crazy. So, I can't wait for people to see that. Let's see. Where is everything? Trying to make sure I don't miss anything here. Can't wait for your new... let's see, where was I? Hey Sean, I don't have a question really. I just want to say I've been watching since Don and Murph. I love and appreciate you maintaining the videos. It always gives me a warm feeling when I watch. Well, thanks so much for watching so long, Aaron. I really appreciate it. And, anyone that's watched for that long and stuck with the videos and continued, watching them for that long, I really appreciate it. And I know, I'm not doing as much stuff, content wise. I'm trying to do as best I can. Like I said, it's just I feel like for the first time in my life, like at least in this last year, I really feel like I have like a real like full-time job. It's hard to explain it, but it's like I definitely do feel like it because like these movies are definitely a job. And anyone that thinks that it isn't, because there's a lot of like behind the scenes go-ons with paperwork and like complicated things. You know what I mean? And I'm for example, when it comes to Bigfoot, if Bigfoot ends up going to a bigger company like Shark House, I'm going to literally have to hire somebody to help me with the paperwork because I'm so incredibly dyslexic. I won't be able to do it because I just mix everything up in my mind. It's like and it's gotten worse for me throughout the years, dyslexia and like just sort of being like kind of like bumbling when it comes to like written stuff. Like I'm really really good with like this, putting these movies together when it comes to that and directing and acting and all that stuff. But when it comes to like the paperwork and all of that, that's why like in all these movies we always have people doing all of that stuff because it's like that is like my weakest point is paperwork. I'm so bad at that stuff. Let's see. Why is Screen Buddy Murder the only one stalling? Oh, it's basically it's the QC, and it's the QC house is just very strict. But I've discovered that this QC house it's an ongoing thing. A lot of people have had some problems. But you guys will it'll come out at some point in time. It's called Sheer Bloody Murder now, but it's basically it's one of those kind of things where it's like, oh, we're all going to discover together whenever it does come out. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm not involved at all in anything with it. So like honestly, like I said, we're just going to all discover together. I'm going to know all about the other ones like Shark House and everything else, and especially like Mistletoe, like that one I'll know everything because that movie's just me and Lauren's film. So like we'll know everything. There's no like hiccups or anything like that. But that's the only one really I'm just like I don't know. How come you couldn't watch the full Cabin Fever, you Ming? What do you mean I couldn't watch the full Cabin Fever? What are you talking about? I love Cabin Fever. Can't wait for your new trailers. Well, thanks so much. No, I can't wait for you to see them. Like I said, Adam is right now getting everything synced up for the audio for the Mistletoe Massacre trailer. But I can't wait for you guys to see that. It's insane. It's definitely very very insane. Let's see. How come? Let's see. Have you met Jean-Claude Van Damme? No, I never have. Shudder are releasing more movies on Blu-ray and in 4K here in Australia. So they're putting 4K versions of stuff in Australia. That's cool. Is that what's going on in the world keeping you away from movie theaters? It has, but I kind of want to go back. I won't lie. Like I feel like this summer is kind of like going to be me getting back to the theaters. It's me now. Next weekend going back to conventions again because I'm going to go to Monsterpalooza. It's a little worrisome to me though. I won't lie. I'm a little bit slight bit nervous about it just because like there are a couple people that I don't particularly want to see, and not Brandon Mitchell, Wet Movie. That's not who it is. I have no problem seeing him. I'd love to say hello to him. There's just some people, I'm just like, I'm not a religious person, but I definitely would pray I don't see these particular people. I just don't want to see them. Let's see. Let's see. But yeah, like I said, I don't like talking about this stuff, but it's like it's true though. Like I feel like when I come on here and do these live streams, I'm not gonna lie, it's sort of to me a little bit like going to the therapist, and I just sort of talk about all this stupid stuff. I don't know if anyone else anyone else does live streams, but they're kind of like Cool Duder's therapy sessions about all kinds of weird shit in his life. Let's see. I definitely could do a book one day about all of this stuff. Are there any smaller movies you're excited to watch this year? Smaller movies? I don't know. Like I'm so out of it on like what's coming out. There was one movie about like was it called Butter that looked kind of fun. I saw the trailer too. Let's see. X was my favorite movie this year. No, X was great. I've always been a fan of Ty West though. What's Up, Cooter? Just picked up Coraline and the Wes Anderson 2-movie collection earlier from Best Buy. Yeah, but Coraline's a great movie. Same here. Griff helped me out so much by hiring me on a few things too. Love him. I know Gregory. Yeah, Griff's amazing. Definitely would love to reconnect with him again, and maybe get him to do like a cameo or something on one of my movies because he's a very talented actor, as well as a producer and director and everything. But no, Griff, like I said, he's just one of those people. If you guys want to see Griff's movies, he directed Ghost Shark. That was one of the ones that I was in that he was the director on. And then the Haunted High one, he just was the producer on that, but Jeffrey Scott Lando directed that one. I'd love to work with him again too. He made a movie with Lacey Cobart. I never know how to say her name, but she was from Mean Girls. It was a movie that I loved called Thirst, and it was like about people it's like they had no water out in the desert. And it was like so surreal too. It was like one of those weird moments because it was like I literally just had reviewed that movie, and then I get to the set, and then I'm like, oh, I looked up the director. I'm like, my God, I love that guy's movie. It was just so weird how things like that happen and everything. So many things like that happen, like that are just like weird coincidences. And I don't know if you guys believe in all that stuff, but I don't know. I feel like truthfully, like now, the way everything's going in the world, I feel like everything is going the way it's supposed to. I feel like there's like hiccups here and there with certain things, but I do feel very strongly about a lot of the things lately. You know what I mean? I've had some ups and downs, but I do feel very, very good about a lot of these things coming out. I feel like you guys are going to like this stuff too. I do hope that when the stuff is on streaming or on DVD and stuff that you guys do check it out and everything, because I do want you guys to see it. And it's not like these movies too are not like stuff that should be free on YouTube either. They're not that. They're not like a YouTube movie. So don't worry. I'm not making YouTube movies. These movies are. I'm doing the best I can to make real deal horror movies, horror comedies. Like that's what I'm trying. I'm not. I don't want these to be ones that have shitty sound and stuff that you would expect. Or like, or they're not going to look too like the stuff I did when I was like 20, like the early shorts and stuff. So don't worry, it's not that. So let's see. I can't believe you never watched Stranger Things. I know I need to watch that. Are you and David Sterling on the same path with low budget filmmaking? A little bit. I mean, the thing is, David Sterling's stuff is a little lower budget nowadays that I do. Like he does stuff in the smaller range. He does here and there larger movies though. But I would more be in the wanting to do stuff that he's done, like the stuff with Cleopatra, like Devil's Domain. That level is much more where I'm trying to stick it with that, and that's a little bit past where I am now. I think that was like over 100,000, so I'm trying to inch towards 100,000 budget for the next movie. Like that's the goal, is to hopefully, because we got 70. Over 70 for the newest movie. So the goal is to get 100 on this one, on the next one. And I think we will. I really have a strong feeling, especially when we have some trailers for these movies. But that's the biggest thing, is like we just have to have trailers. We have to have really good trailers. And then once we can talk about some of the releases, I think that's a big, big thing as well. And I'm one of those kind of people too, like everything that I raise monetary wise for the movie, like I literally put everything into it. So I'm like, oh, we can get another person, we can get another celebrity, oh, we can do this, and oh, we can pay for this person to do the script continuity, and we can get this, and like Lauren was such a huge help though with getting like people to do all that kind of stuff, finding people that continuity people and all this kind of stuff. And that's like that's the big thing too for these movies going forward, is more and more help. More and more crew members, more and more grips, that's the biggest thing. More and more people working on the lighting. That's what I want to do, is just kind of keep on going in that direction and everything. Let's see. Becky was written out of Fuller's House final season via Jesse saying she was taking care of her mom. Yeah, but they'll probably do something like that on the Goldbergs with Jeff Garling's character. But the problem is, though, they have to like show him leaving, unless they like do it like with a monologue with like the mom saying it to him, and like you just see the back of his head or something. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. Let's see. Sure. What's up, Quarter? Picked up car. I talked about that one. 2 hours seems like a really long time to be on an exercise bike at your house. How do you pass the time? Well, I put the TV on. So usually I put on movies and stuff like that. So I look on video on demand on. So I have Spectrum cable, so I just look on demand on there and see kind of what's on there. And it's usually they update like stuff on HBO and those things every so often. I need to get, it's an older TV, but I need to get like a Roku stick or something like that for it. So then I can put on some of the other ones like Netflix and Amazon, because there's other stuff that I definitely would be watching. I could put Tubi stuff on, so that's probably what the next step is in there. Since I do that, I try to do the bike literally every single day. Like that's the biggest goal for me, is to try to do it as much as I can and everything. Especially right now too, since I'm taking a break now from doing any other movies until the next one. Like I said, I haven't had a period where I've had a break in a really long time. Like in a span of a year, not even a year, I did all those movies back to back, like those 6 films. So it's like this year, I think I'll probably do 2 more movies, maybe. One more for 100% sure, but what I think is probably 2 though. I think I'll probably do one. In September, so, around that time, and then one in December is what I'm kind of thinking. December is a good time to shoot too, because a lot of people, the bigger studios are not shooting then, and then you can get a lot of actors to do stuff because they're not getting hired for the studio movies. So it's always kind of a sort of a trick to shoot around that time. So there's a lot of movies like indies that shoot in December, kind of right before Christmas. Let's see, or right after. Let's see, same here. Have you ever been in a fist fight? No, I've never been in a fist fight. Like I always like worry about like having like a bad fight or something like that, but I've never had anything anything like that happen. Let's see. Have you ever? When is Sorcerer's Grateful Dead biopic going to come out? I don't know. Scorsese's biopic on the Dead. Let's see. Trying to make sure I don't miss any of these ones. Where was I too? How many species of butterfly? Here's where we were. How many steps a day are you averaging? Like if just I don't know. Like I know when I was doing the film shoot, it was like I think like 8 miles or something like that. And that was just like kind of walking around the house and stuff like that. Did you know Ray Liotta had died? I had heard that. It was really sad that he passed away. And it was like he was in the middle of shooting that movie. It's just like unexpected stuff like that too, or crazy. I don't know if it was like the situation of that film was a stressful on him or something. I don't know. Could have been something like that was going on, because like that's what I always think happened to John Candy because of that stupid Wagons East movie. And like the movie's fine, I guess, but I always think of that movie as like the movie that killed John Candy, so I don't like it because of that, because it was one of those movies I remember reading too. He really didn't want to do it. And it was like, and believe me, I don't blame him, because I was as heavy as John Candy was, and I was even heavier. And the idea of having to ride on a horse and pull yourself up on a horse at that weight, you know what I mean? And how hard that is on your heart and your body doing that. And I mean, that's the kind of stuff like that, and that's what did it. And him probably out there sweating. And like I don't even know if back then people were like, when people would sweat a lot, I don't think they would give people like Gatorade and like Powerade, and especially too, he could have had, we don't know, he could have had diabetes or something like that too. So you have to be really careful and stuff like that. So he couldn't have had drinks like that, because I think back then they didn't even have Gatorade Zero and stuff like that. So they weren't as careful on movies about when you got hot. They didn't have like back then as many like contingencies nowadays, like or protections to help people, or emergency things for people get dehydrated. So I'm sure he had dehydration and all these different types of things. But it sucks though if it's like a film production where the environment is just so bad on the body. And who knows, it could have been with Ray Liotta, it could have just been that, or it could have been something to do with the production. It was just too much, or it just could have been something kind of a sickness that he had. I don't know. Would you be flattered or offended if Red Letter Media featured movies you made are the best of the worst? No, I mean, to me, bad or good, like, I think promotion is promotion. So, like, honestly, like, when, these movies are out, I'd love you guys to do, like, reactions to them. You can do reactions to the trailer for Mistletoe. Like, I love that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not gonna give a copyright thing to you guys to do it. So like, I love like that kind of stuff. So no, I'm totally cool with that. Like, I love that kind of stuff. Let's see. Can you do the bow tie killer? I see blood. I see blood expression from Problem Child, please. I don't even remember how that's like. What do you see? It's like, I can, now that's hard to do. If someone's saying, if someone black is good at basketball, is it racist if that's true? Just saying that El Piscasio is racist. So don't say stuff like that, Picasso. I miss your video when you and your family review movies when you go around the town. Yeah, the problem with that was people would like, you know, they would say like rude comments, and it like got to my parents and my brother and stuff like that. So like they didn't really want to be in them as much. And it was like that type of a thing. You know what I mean? So like people really, it affects people. Like to me, I'm just so used to people, you know, saying stupid shit about me and weird stuff. And I've just gotten so used to it now that it doesn't bother me. But like, you know, that was also very early on, if you guys remember, when, you know, I did, you know, we did those kind of videos. So it's kind of like too, my parents at that time were very new to being in the videos. So it was kind of like they weren't really used to all that stuff and what kind of came along with it and the comments and all that. Like I said, maybe they're appearing more stuff. I know my parents will. I don't know if my brother will or not, but at some point I'm sure we'll see them and stuff. Did you get to check out Obi-Wan Kenobi? I still need to watch that though. I think I will look at that though. Let's see. You've been uploading somewhat consistently for 13 years. No need to apologize for slowing down even a bit. Haha. Well, thanks so much, Aaron. Like I said, I try the best I can. Like the biggest thing I always do, the best of my ability is always do videos on Tuesday. Like it's a pain in the ass, but like, you know, I won't lie. There are occasionally a Tuesday where I am struggling to do it. Just if it's like something with the film production, like I did one right when I came back from Mistletoe, and I was so tired. Like I'm like, how am I driving the car? How am I doing this? That's the thing is like usually after a film production, like you just get so, you know, exhausted because it's like I just do so much because basically in a span of 8 days we did probably what you would normally do in a span of like 12 days on a shoot or 14 days, something like that. You know, we've kind of consistently keep going up with the film shoots. I think Screen Bloody Murder, we had like a 6 day. Then Shark House was like 5.5. Karen was only 5. But then, you know, Bigfoot, I think was 6. 6 on Wood Switch, but then it was 8 on, you know, on the new one. And I think the next movie is probably going to be 10, honestly. The thing is, like, it does add up on the budget when you, because you basically are paying everyone in the crew another 2 days and stuff like that. But of all honesty, though, I don't want to, going forward, have to rush as much on some of these films with certain things. And it's like, it's a little bit difficult sometimes when you you feel like certain things you're like, why is it this particular type of a scene is always rushed? So like what I'm going to do is kind of try and separate things a little bit, and like we've learned so much just from doing these movies too, different techniques and different ways of doing things, and I feel like everything is kind of like trial and error, but we have such an amazing group of people that are so incredibly helpful on these projects and kind of always consistently help, you know, and come back and come on the board as producers and things like that. And it's like I'm incredibly grateful to the people, and we just have, like I said, just such a great group of people, and I love working with these people, and it's just amazing. Like I said, I'm glad that I went in this direction and I'm doing these things now, because it was like I don't know what would have happened, you know what I mean? Like, because this is really what I think I know I was supposed to have been doing. Let's see. The Fact of Life did a slasher episode. The Facts of Life did. I never saw that. What's your favorite Don and Murph episode? There were a lot of good ones. Probably The Mormon. That's the one I remember I always felt like the strongest about. And that one, if you guys look up on, if you guys go on Daily Motion. So guys, right now go on dailymotion.com and then search on there Don and Murph. And then if you go on there and search Don and Murph on Daily Motion, you guys can look at this stuff later. It'll be like a fun thing. If you guys look at them, you guys can leave some comments under this live show later. But if you guys, so go on dailymotion.com, search Don and Murph, and then on there, you'll come across like the channel. I think it's like either Sean C. Phillips or Cool Dude or something like that. But on there, there's a number of like Don and Murphs that are nowhere else online. And you guys can see the Mormon on there. You guys can see Boys Club. I think the Thanksgiving specials on there, and those are ones that I was, you know, made back in the day, and everyone always kind of here and there talks about them, but that's a place where you guys can see them. Let me see if I can find the link to. I'll copy the link so then you guys can look at them. And like I said, if you guys watch them, don't bother commenting on Daily Motion, because I don't even know how to see that anymore, and I don't think anybody even has an account on there. But it's like so old, that thing. Let's see if these videos are here anymore, because they were about a month ago. But who knows if this is the same. Don and Murph. Oh yes, under Sean C. Phillips. So here's the channel. I'm share this link with you guys. So if you guys want to see some of these ones, this is where you guys can see them. So I'll put these one right here. This is the link, the Daily Motion link. I'll pin this one so you guys can look at it. But that's a lot of old Don and Murphs and those type of things. But if any of you guys watch them off of there, like I said, comment later under this video and let me know what you guys thought of them. But that's the old stuff I was doing. Most of those are off of YouTube because they had like copyrighted music, and they were made like so long ago. I didn't know about stuff like that back then. And see, on YouTube now, they have a technique, a function where if there's anything copyrighted music-wise, you can push this thing that says remove it, and it says remove music and audio, or it says remove music and keep the audio. And basically what it can do is, it's not always perfect, but it can take out the actual music and make it so you only hear the dialogue. So sometimes the dialogue is a little bit like, well, we're going to go like this. So you can kind of tell something is up with it, but at least you can still keep the video up without it like having ad problems on YouTube. So but basically I had to take down all these Don and Murphs back in the day because that function didn't exist. It was either they put their ad on it and you risk a copyright problem that could come up later, or you delete it. So I just deleted a lot of them. Let's see. Do you swing? Everyone's asking me if I swing. No, I've never been a swinger. I don't know if I'd be into swinging or not. If you could direct a biopic, I'd probably 2 women. I don't think I'd really want another guy there. Hey, Sean, it's a little old, a couple years anyway, but now I think I just saw Hunt for the Wilder People the other day. I wondered if you saw that. The Wilder People, I think it was. That was a fun movie about the kid out in the... Was that the one with the kid out in there? I think that was the one, like out in the middle of the woods or something. Wickerman Imprint and The Warriors by Imprint. Did you get them? I think I forgot to request those ones to review, Mike. I live where Rod Sterling grew up. You should write a book about how low-budget industry like Robert Rodriguez and Lloyd Kaufman. I definitely would have to have somebody write it for me. You know what I mean? Like do one of those things where you dictate all the ideas and then someone, writes the book. But there's definitely a lot of material. There would definitely be no shortage of material to have, in that book if there was one. Let's see. Have you ever watched the comedy film Stitches? I did. I liked that movie. I thought that was actually a really fun movie. Did you ever meet Danny McBride? I've never met Danny McBride. If you could direct a biopic on one person, who would it be? I think a biopic on either Chris Farley or John Candy would be pretty cool to do. I think that would be interesting. And I would really make sure to really do the best I could on casting the perfect person for John Candy. I feel like honestly the person who could play John Candy is that Jonathan Hunt from and he's not really an actor though, but he was from the Box Mac videos on YouTube. He looks so much like John Candy. It's like, but there's other people too that could play John Candy if they did a biopic. But I think that would be kind of interesting. Chris Farley though, I don't know who would play Farley. I feel like if it was made, maybe 10 years after he passed away, one of his brothers could play him. But now they're too old, I think, to play him in the younger area, so it just wouldn't work. So they'd have to get somebody sort of similar to him. It'd be hard though, but those would be interesting biopics, I think. And if they were done big budget, really with the family's blessing and everything behind them, those would be interesting. Let's see. Warner Bros. Recently announced they will start phasing out physical media, including DVDs and Blu-rays, and they are likely not alone as DVD Blu-ray collector. What do you think about this? I think they're going to start doing a lot more burn on demand, is what I think. That's the vibe that I'm getting. A lot of their stuff, a handful of those movies that are exclusives to HBO Max, are burn on demand releases that are burnt discs. So I think that's kind of what's going to happen. So that's sort of, I think, the way it is. I think it's going to be a lot more burn on demand stuff. It sucks, but it's I don't think we're ever going to see it totally go away because people buy the Vinegar Syndrome stuff too much. What's going to happen is, as weird as to think of this, as strange as this is, 20 years from now, people like Vinegar Syndrome are going to be distributing Blu-rays. When Blu-rays has a weird comeback of all this weird shit that went to streaming only. So we're going to see all these streaming movies that never got DVD releases, Blu-ray releases, getting releases way down the line when all the streaming licenses expire and all that kind of stuff. That's what's going to happen with some of this stuff. I predict is there's going to be a time when people really want it again. They're going to be like, oh, I wish I had a copy of that. I don't know. We'll probably see it happen. Let's see. And honestly, too, if Netflix started releasing their own Netflix exclusive stuff that they sold on their website and had Blu-rays of them, special, like $50 Blu-rays of their exclusive movies, people would buy them. Netflix, you want to make an extra 40, 50 bucks? You could. I can guarantee it. And you sell them. That's the interesting thing. I don't know how Netflix has not thought of that. They should team up with Allied Vaughn, those burn on demand distributors, and they should make but they should be press discs, but they control the distribution of their own movies. Why has the Netflix not thought of this? Because they can charge out the ass for these prices, because they're like, well, you want them, you want a physical copy of them, and they could kind of do like they used to do back in the day with VHS when they were brand new, and they were like $100, and then they would also, if you wanted to buy it when it was new, otherwise you'd have to rent them at the video rental store. And if Netflix took all their exclusives, same with Disney Plus could do the same, and they could sell like Obi-Wan Kenobi, $50, all that stuff, and it doesn't matter. People will still keep the streaming services if they control the distribution of them and do them that way. That's what they should be doing, and it would be hilarious if Netflix all of a sudden did this. But because the thing is, the reason why Netflix should do this and should do it quick is because Stinky Tuna and all these other bootleg companies are bootlegging them, and they're making the money. So Netflix, extra money. I think we just discovered right now what should be happening with these things. Just burn on demand. All these streaming things could come out, but that's how they come out. They control the distribution, do them through a burn on demand company. And we could have all this stuff for collectors. That's how it should be. That's how it should be with literally everything is probably going to switch over to burn on demand. But pressed disc, you can do burn on demand pressed discs where it looks just like a regular disc from the store. It's just as good. It's not a blue disc. So if you start doing that, people will buy them. And it's a way to keep discs out there because, the bottom line is if the internet went down, everything's gone. That's what's so fucked up right now is when you think about it, if something happened, if somebody nuked all of the internet, all these movies won't exist anymore if there's no DVDs, if there's no physical copies. It's a scary thing that most people wouldn't even think of, but it's true. It's very true. Just like if it's, the Last Man on Earth. All of us that have collections, if we live or we like hunker down in a bunker, we could take our movies and take solar power, get some nice solar power system, watch all of our movies. We'll be fine. But people who are like, I'm a real streaming kind of guy, I threw out my movies. All those people are fucked. They cannot watch anything because all the streaming services are down. They're just gonna be sitting there fiddling off to like old like nude mags and stuff that they found and like. That's the thing. It's funny to think about it, but it's very, very true, and most people never think like that about just how weird it is to think about how like literally if the internet was down and you counted on streaming or something happened to the internet or it got controlled or policed like they talked about in the past, we'd be in big trouble if we didn't have physical media. So the people that are in the right are people that at least own the stuff. I will say too, I discovered my brother wanted to look at libraries, and if you guys like want to rent stuff though and like rent physical discs, go to the library. The libraries are actually carrying a lot of weird, obscure stuff. I think they have like a company that buys for the libraries. There's actually a company that buys and distributes to the libraries, but they're like getting like indie horror films. They're getting the big stuff. So like that, it's interesting. It's like if Redbox does go, and since video rental stores are next to impossible to find these days, go to the library, guys. Surprisingly, you can find new stuff in there and obscure stuff that if you guys don't like streaming stuff too, and you want to you don't want to buy it online because you don't want to risk it like for $20 or $30, like what is this? That's a good way to at least to see it. Let's see. Sean, it's a little old, a couple years ago anyway, I think, but I talked about that. Let's see. Someone said something about Mike Myers, a voice. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss any of these things. What is your favorite McDonald? You seem like a cool person. Where was I? I'm trying way behind here. Oh yeah, I think it was here. What do you think about Silent Night, Bloody Night from the 1970s? Also, what is your favorite Psycho sequel? I think I like the second Psycho sequel best. So I don't think I watched Silent Night, Bloody Night, though. Will you try and pop back? I'm working on a night shift. Well, we'll try and pop back. Oh, thanks so much for coming on, though, and watching some. Can you make a living doing what you're doing? YouTube, you can make okay amount of money. I mean, like, I think if I did more content, I would be able to, like, if I doubled what I was doing video wise, I would probably be able to double what I'm doing. But like I do okay, you know what I mean? And all kind of like the biggest thing with YouTube is like ways you guys can help on the channel is you know, with super chats on here if I do the live streams, or there's like this new thing called like super likes or something that I just was able to add to the channel about a week ago. That's another way people can help and stuff like that. And then, you know, when I do the crowdfunding for my movies, that's the biggest thing because that's what I love doing now. So that's a huge help too, because without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do these movies. So like I said, I owe everything to you guys for letting me to be able to do these things. And I'm making these things for you guys. So I hope you guys like them. I really do. I'm trying to give nods to my videos and nods to, you know, for people who've watched for years, like throwbacks and kickbacks to stuff that you guys would recognize, all that type of stuff. Would you sign the trillion-year soul contract? The thing that Wet Boy signed, that thing. No, I don't like messing around with like stuff like that. Like with demons and souls. And like I said, I'm not really a super religious person or anything like that by any means. But like when it comes to that type of stuff, I do sometimes like sort of. I don't know. I do kind of believe in ghosts a little bit and some of that stuff. So I don't really want to mess around with stuff like that. So I wouldn't call the number. Let's see. Have Sean been a fan since 2008? First time I saw your video showing your movie gore movies turned me on to an entire world of movies that I wouldn't have known about. Well, thanks so much for watching so long, Christopher. Oh yeah, you're talking about the video, like my favorite gory, gross out horror films. You're the reason why I have my DVD collection. I have. Well, thanks so much for, you know, like I said, I definitely do feel like these videos, I do know throughout the years I've gotten a lot of people message me like, oh, you know, I started collecting movies because of you and I did this from watching you. And so no, I definitely, I'm sure I'm the culprit for a lot of people, some people having like disagreements in their household, like, why do you have so many damn movies and all this stuff? They're like, oh, well, Cool Duder did it. You're like, well, you know, Cool Duder, why is Cool Duder doing it? You know what I mean? Like, what's the matter with him? You know what I mean? So I'm sure there definitely was like some discussions like that. And it is so weird though to just to think of like look at the, you know, the scheme of YouTube, and just like look at the people that started doing these videos and like start like basically like kind of like not copy but like did the same thing that I did, and like even like to the same style. And then it's like, look at how big they are now. Like, for example, like, you know, I remember like Chris Stuckman, like he did videos like doing DVD videos, and he like even mentioned me in them in the very beginning, like Cool Duder. I remember, and I don't think he liked my videos at the time or something. I remember, and it's just like, look at Chris Stuckman now. It's just like, my God, it's just so fucking strange. It's so weird just to see how things change and how big people can get on YouTube and all this type of stuff. Let's see. I came across Camp Cucamonga on DVD at Salvation Army for $1. Well, I hope you bought it, Matthew. If you didn't buy it, Matthew, that's like might be one of your biggest. You know, not that it wouldn't be probably your top biggest regret, but it would be one of them. So I hope, Matthew, you picked it up, because if you found that for $1, that is the find of a lifetime. Any recent horror movies that kept you up at night? Nothing for a long time that really freaked me out. I think one of the last ones that scared me was It Follows. But like, because I don't like people following me. Like anything like that, people walking up behind me, walking up on me, sneaking up on me. Like I hate that. I hate that. Would you sigh? Sigh? Happy Saturday to you. Was like basically, you know, hello. Coneheads is coming to Blu-ray soon. I know I have the Australian Blu-ray of that movie. I don't think it will. I actually know it won't. It won't have these, but you know, Coneheads is one of those movies where it's too bad that Shout Factory didn't get the rights to it from Paramount, because like maybe they will, because I don't know if you guys realize with that movie, there's a lot of cut scenes in Coneheads, and when they air that on TV, there's so much stuff. There's more stuff with you know, with Phil Hartman in the movie. Like you find out way more about his character. There's a dinner scene when they're eating. When I saw it on TV, there was like they were eating this really weird food right when they get to the planet. It was stuff that didn't work because of pacing. It was better it was good the way it flowed, but it was fun scenes. So it just sucks because like if I feel like that if Shout Factory would put this out, they would put the TV cut on Blu-ray, because they've been known to do that. Like that's why I'm like hoping to, like, please Shout Factory, you know, do your own release of Problem Child and Problem Child 2. They will sell for you guys, I promise you. in a 2-pack and get interviews with Barrett Oliver and get interviews and also, for God's sakes, get the TV cuts, of those movies. People will buy them for the TV cuts. Let's see. Hey Sean, I came across. They talked about that. Will Family Guy ever become a movie? They've done like TV movies, haven't they? Like a Star Wars one or something like that. What is your favorite generation of SNL? I would say I really like the Chris Farley, Adam Sandler era, but I like that Sarah Squirm on there now. I think she's really good. I think that the stuff that she's writing is really fun. Like, and it's weird. It's very Tim and Eric-y, like the one that she did with the meatballs. I really like that one, but it's very weird. Was Darkness Falls known as the Tooth Fairy? Yeah, it wasn't Darkness Falls known as the Tooth Fairy. Yeah, that was one. I remember they changed the title. I remember originally too. I seen the trailer for that movie when it was called The Tooth Fairy. Then it like got pulled from the theaters, and then they re-released it with a Darkness Falls trailer. Someone said, "Did you see the new Mike Myers show?" I haven't watched that. I need to look at that. I did re-watch for the hell of it, and I like that movie, The Love Guru. And I know it's a bad movie, but it's funny to me. Sometimes you just want to watch these stupid, funny movies. You just need to watch stuff like that. Have you ever seen Hall Pass and The Change Up? Yeah, seen both of those ones. Tooth Fairy, wow, waiting for you. The episode is called The Seven Little Indians. Hey, Sean, did you see the movie The Bell Call Experiment? Yeah, I saw that one in theaters. That was good. I like that movie. Gustavo, I like werewolf movies. Manhattan Project, nice. Just seen the cast list for Karen. What was James Duvall like in person? I liked him in Greg Araki films. Oh, James Duvall is great. Like, he's probably one of my favorite people to work with. I first worked with him years ago on this movie called, I think it had so many different titles. It was called Blue Dream, I think is what it got released under. And he was really nice. We got along really well. I remember taking a picture with him. I remember, too, I was kind of like nervous because I was like a really big fan of Doom Generation, especially. So it was kind of like that was so early on too. That was like 2011. So I had never really worked with like any big actors or anybody like that. So I was like really Mr. Nervous and stuff like that. But then he came and did Scream Bloody Murder. But I also worked with him in Night of the Zomgoes first. Then we kind of reconnected. Then he did Scream Bloody Murder, and then he also did Woods Witch. But he's great, and we basically. There was this terrible, there was like a truck that ended up stalling, this giant tractor-trailer truck on the road into where the winery was at, where we were shooting in San Diego, and basically it got stuck in the middle of the road, and no one could get up this mountain to get to the winery. And it was like this one thing where it was one way in and one way out. Otherwise, you had to go all the way around. So basically, James ended up getting to that spot and had to turn all the way around and had to find a whole other way to get there. So we ended up only having, I think, like 9 hours to shoot everything for him. And we ended up getting basically like, he's in the movie for like 25 minutes or something. I'm like, how in the world did we get so much footage of Jimmy? I'm like, I don't know how he did it. But he was great. And he has a fight scene in there, with Lauren. And it's great. It's really good with, fighting with the Karen character. But he's great to work with. Let's see. I feel like the urge to fart. Let it rip. Someone said that, if you feel like the urge to let it fart. That's okay. Can you try to get Roger Corman for a cameo in your next movie? I need to work with him, but he might pass before. Maybe, or he'll outlive us all. No, he would be really fun to get Roger Corman. That's a kind of like the goal. I when I think of people like Roger Corman, is to do like he does and just make so many different movies. And like canon films and stuff like that. Let's see. Darlene got remarried on the Connors. Jackie also got remarried. No, I know. John Belushi, John Candy, Billard City. I think maybe Jesse Plemons could play John Candy if he put weight on. What the F physical media for life? Have you thought about filming a movie in one of the few remaining 80s malls? If you guys can find a mall, that's the thing too. Guys, put feelers out for a mall that I could shoot at. I don't care what state it's in, honestly. I'll fly to wherever it is. If any of you guys manage a mall, know a shopping mall that I could film in, that I could throw blood on the floor, or if we have to do certain spots in there, but I have an idea for a horror movie in a mall that I really want to do. So believe me, that's something I want to do. So if any of you guys have a mall or have access to a mall, or know anyone that has access to a mall, let me know. Definitely let me know. because that's definitely something that I would like to do, is a mall horror film. Let's see. Walk upon another room. Streaming services should offer the extras from DVDs, commentaries, deleted scenes. No, I know. That's the one thing too. I think on iTunes you can see the extras, and on Vudu too, I believe, but like not stuff like Netflix and stuff. Will Jackass 4.5 getting released now on physical media since it's Netflix? I don't know. I think if it's a Netflix exclusive, which I think it is, I don't think we will have a physical release for that one. Maybe in another country, I don't know. Maybe down the line, they're due like a box set or something, and they're included as like a bonus feature if they put like all the movies together, and it'd be like a bonus disc that you could only get in the box set. Like maybe Netflix would let them do that. I know Netflix though did do like limited streaming though for, they did releases for Stranger Things with those Target exclusives. And they did it for the first 2 seasons, but they didn't sell very well because it's not. I don't think it's that they didn't sell well. I think that it was just that they ended up having just too many of them. You know what I mean? And the stores just had way too many, and it was just like they just couldn't get rid of them. So they just started continuously, going and like cutting down the prices and making them cheaper, and all that kind of stuff, as well. Let's see. Let's see. I'll probably be on here, guys, for another few minutes because I think I've almost done 2 hours because I was on almost for no. I think it was 20 some minutes on the last stream before I messed it all up, but probably maybe like 25 minutes or so more, something like that. Maybe I'll get to an hour and a half or an hour and 40 minutes. Let's see. It would be worth trillions. Let's see. Where am I now? I'm like I said, to make sure I don't miss any of these ones. Tooth Fairy, Philadelphia Experiment. Live past the zombie apocalypse. What if The Walking Dead was real? How would you survive? I'd find somewhere to like hide out. But I mean, like me, honestly, I'd like to hide out kind of like, in Dawn of the Dead and like in the mall. Like to me, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know like what mall or I would pick or where I would go specifically, but it would want to be a mall though that had like a market in it. So it had like, or hide out in a market. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you'd want to have like somebody with you too. Because if you were there by yourself, you might be like a nut. You like crack up. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just feel like if you were like surviving by yourself, it'd be really strange, and you'd be like this sort of sad sack, like Will Smith in I Am Legend. You know what I mean, with his dog and stuff. I don't know, and I don't. It's weird. Like after the Will Smith slap thing, it's so hard to think about him in like a really positive way. It's like so weird. It's like you think of you just like think of Will Smith and you think of him like hitting people and stuff. It's like he really messed his image up doing that. Like I don't know, when you think about it, like really. That was literally like the biggest, I think probably the biggest mistake a celebrity ever made on live TV. I really think so. Other option is collection of films downloaded on a hard drive. Yeah, some people do that too, like collect it on a hard drive. And then it's not a bad way too, like, or to back up the movies that way. I know you don't like talking all your movies out, but will you do another complete movie collection overview? At some point, I need to do like a full collection. Are you going to watch Stranger Things 4? I haven't seen the Stranger Things series. Like I said, I don't know what is the matter with me, but like I never really watched it. You know what I mean? So I need to watch it though. Hey mate, I'm the director of the short anthology Night of Horror Volume 1. I directed The Priest. Just want to say thanks for reviewing it. Well, thanks, Goran. A really great segment on there. But that was a great horror anthology. In America, everybody has a dream of a beautiful small town. I guess they do. They think of small towns. You inspired me to start my channel a little over a year ago. Thanks so much for your commitment to physical media. Well, thanks so much. No, and like I said, I try. I'm trying the best I can, to keep this stuff around and keep physical media afloat and to promote the stuff the best I can and, to try and bring, positive attention to the releases and stuff. Because that's the big thing that I feel like I like to do, with what I'm doing and my videos specifically, is just to try and, just to bring attention to this stuff that a lot of people don't know about. And that's the thing. There's so many things come out that literally no one has seen or just totally comes out under the radar. And that's what I'm trying to do, is just the best that I can to just like bring light to it, because like I kind of feel the same way like with the stuff that I'm doing. It's like I know how hard it is for people to know about stuff. So it's like I know. So it's like I want to do the best I can to help get this stuff out there. Let's see. You made big impacts on a lot of people when it comes to collecting, weight loss, etc. Thanks so much, Stranger Boy. No, I know it's hard to think about like that kind of stuff. Like people like there's like thousands of people that have like been collecting because of this, and I don't because of me, and it's weird. It's a strange thing to think about. Like I said, it's a strange thing to think about. What films or director influenced you to be a director now? The 1992 movie Ed Wood, that was a big influence to me. Um, I'm trying to think of like what was the biggest movie that really got me into like wanting to direct. I wish I could think of like what it was that I saw as a kid that like put that idea in my head. I don't know if it would have been Ed Wood because I feel like I saw Ed Wood a little bit later. Because I started making little shorts with my friend of mine Nell when I was in like the fourth grade, and I didn't see Ed Wood yet. I saw Ed Wood later, maybe like 2 years after. So I just wish I could figure out what it was that really put that idea in my head that dealt with filmmaking. I know Pee Wee, maybe Pee Wee, because Pee Wee had those scenes in there, when Pee Wee goes to the film studios and stuff like that. And that might have been what, as a child, put that into my head. I don't know to try and trace exactly what it was, but literally, like, I have always been had a thing for movies that had to do with making films, like especially horror films, like Skeleton Crew, The Dead Hate the Living. It doesn't matter if they're the worst movie on the planet. It does not matter. If it's a movie about making films, I love it. But especially if it has scenes of them on set with the directors and like the camera crew and problems with the crew, and that's why I said too. Like the next movie I'm going to do, directing with Lauren Francesca, is going to have to do with a movie, making a film where everything that can go wrong goes wrong, and it deals with a slasher aspect as well. That's the big aspect of it, but I'm excited about that. Let's see. Other opinion is have your collection of films. I talked about that. I have a quick question. What state are you based in? I'm in San Diego. You inspired me. Who do you think should be Johnny Gilbert's successor when the time comes? Johnny Gilbert's successor? I don't know. You were the first movie reviewer I seen on YouTube. Then I saw some of Jeremy John's videos and Chris Stuckman, and recently Zach Pope's. That's what's so weird to think too, is like, I think that if in the early days of YouTube, if I would have been a bit more harsh, and I would have made like harsh videos where I kind of talk shit on films and been sort of a dickhead in the reviews, I would have done better. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that that's what, especially when reviewers were starting to take off on YouTube, it was really, people really liked harsh assholes, people that were just really mean, like would tear apart things. I didn't do that, and like I never could do that, and I think it was just because I was somebody that dealt with being picked on, and I dealt with all of that shit, and I also know what it takes to make these movies, and I know how hard it was, much work it is, and I've just never felt good about tearing something apart. I always like to look for the good in movies. That definitely is a degree of my downfall with not being more popular. I'm aware of that. But it's also a degree of why the people that watch and continue to watch, I think, watch is because people don't want to watch assholes and people being dickish with reviews. They don't always want to see that. They don't always want to see somebody negative. So I try. I've always tried to be positive. Like I said, that's always how I've been, with my reviews and stuff like that. Let's see. Are you going to any upcoming conventions? Yes, I will be going to Monsterpalooza convention, and that one is this coming, next weekend. So I'll be there. I should be there every single day, unless like I just get scared off and leave. But the plan is to go there every single day. That's the goal. And then the other one I'll be going to is the San Diego Comic-Con. I'll be going to that as well. And then other than that, I don't know what else is next, convention-wise, but I do know those ones. So those, Comic-Con is July, and then, like I said, the Monsterpalooza is next month, next weekend. Let's see, how was filming American Masquerade? Oh, that was really fun. That was a really fun movie that I did a couple days before I filmed, the Mistletoe Massacre. And it was a fun scene in there of me and Lauren were acting together in there, playing these people who are auditioning someone who's coming in to act in a film. And it was just kind of like one of those kind of like audition from hell kind of things. And we were like asking the guy all kinds of weird stuff. It was fun. It was very, very fun. I think it's going to be a fun, very fun scene. Let's see. Have you seen Fredo and What Rays Die Wolf, aka Dino Wolf? I've heard of that one. I don't think I've seen that one though. I'm always looking for the back side of the restaurant, whereas my back is against the room, so I don't know what is in front of me. So clear from Sean, a video. Excellent is how experienced Mr. Phillips. What does it say? How much water do you drink each day? I don't know. I try. Like, that's the main thing that I drink a day is water. Yeah, her name is Sarah Sherman, but I think she goes by Sarah Squirm on Instagram. So that's where I've always seen her stuff. Like, look at her stuff. So I always think of that name. Are you gonna buy Blue Sunshine on 4K? I didn't buy that one yet, did I? I know maybe I did. I'm trying to think if I bought Blue Sunshine on 4K already. Is it brand new? Sunshine 4K. Let me look at it. No, I guess I didn't buy this. This came out January 31st. Is it coming out, or is it a new one? Who's distributing that one? I know I have the Blu-ray though, the limited Blu-ray for that one. Insomniacs or Woke. I'm definitely an insomniac. I have the weirdest sleep schedule ever. You know what I mean? Like, and then when I tell people about it, I'm always like embarrassed because it's so incredibly peculiar. Like I go to sleep at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I get up at like noon, and then like I go to sleep at like 11 o'clock and sleep and get up at 2, and then I eat dinner at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I go back to sleep at 6, and I go to sleep at 6. It's incredibly weird. It is incredibly weird, but that's like what I do during my off time and stuff like that. So it's kind of a weird thing. But I see a $2 super chat here, and I don't like this, what someone's saying here, ban Jason, so, and I don't know. So let's just gonna remove this. I don't know. I don't like stuff about people like talking bad about LGBT and all that kind of stuff. So, or like putting it into, I don't know, about people that are Jewish and stuff. They just don't put stuff like that, please. I do not like stuff like that. So let's see. Have you ever been injured filming a movie? I'm trying to think if I ever got hurt. No, I did. I remember on The Lashman, when I was doing that. Hopefully someday that movie people get to see that. I think it played on some kind of a streaming thing at one point. I did that in 2010. I really want people to see that damn movie. But I remember there was a scene when I was getting out of the car, and it was basically like, it was an old school one of those cars. It was like really hard metal doors and everything, and the door, my hand was in the one other door while it was closing, because I was pulling my ass out of the car, and slammed right at my fingers. And like, it was one of those things where it was like, thank God it didn't just like rip my fingers off. It was, and my hand was so messed up afterwards. I think it was this hand. And what's crazy too is, like, when you have something like that happen, you feel like the strength in your hand is never the same. And this hand has never been as strong as it should have been. Because I guarantee you something was messed up. But it was kind of like I was in the middle of Kentucky. It was like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like, I had to get this movie done. I was out there for like almost 2 weeks. It was hot as hell. It was like, oh. So it's one of those things. But yeah, that was a bad injury. I'm trying to think of any other like bad injuries on a set. I never had, like, thank God on my movies, no one, thank God on my movies though, no one ever had any bad accidents though. There's never had any injuries or anything like that. I did cut my hand open. I remember filming the Devil's Domain movie, but that was like I just scratched my hand open. That was nothing. I've done that a lot though. That's the worst thing, is cut my hand open. You know what I mean? And then I see Ban Jason gave a $2 super chat. I thought you said you can ask anything, you coward. Nothing racist and offensive and stuff like that, Ban Jason. So don't ask me stuff like that. That is not allowed on this channel whatsoever. But I do see a $2 super chat here from Light Guru. Sign the trillion-year soul contract. Is that what you're talking about? Like the thing that Brendan Mitchell on his video, where it's like that number and you sell your soul. Is that what you're talking about? But if that's what you mean, no, I'm not signing that. Do you think political correctness and woke culture is killing Hollywood? Yeah, in a way, yes. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I'm glad is going away. Like, I don't like a lot of. There's certain things I really like. I don't know. There's some stuff I really am glad is disappearing. But at the same time, there's certain jokes and stuff that that are, it just sucks that it's like you have to worry about more so. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's what I really dislike is censoring old movies when people say, "Oh, we got to cut this thing out of there," and like there's certain words I don't like at all. I really don't, and stuff like that, and I won't personally say myself in a movie whatsoever. But you know, like I said, I don't know. It's a weird thing with comedy, but I really don't think comedy should be really censored. I really don't. I think people need to understand too and know the context behind people that are with the comedy. Especially with my movies, there's like some humor that is very self reflecting on myself humor, that I have that is in there and stuff. I don't know. It's like some people are gonna be a little taken by some of the humor that it's just like a little bit crazy. Um, just stuff that deals with stuff that I don't know, just stuff that you guys will see. You guys will see. It's just wacky stuff that's like South Park come to life humor that I like, but it's great. It's the one that's the most is Bigfoot. Amityville Bigfoot is the most insane thing that I have made in my entire life. I'm tomorrow I'll see an edit of the movie, but that's the movie that is my scary movie. You know what I mean? Like, it is insane. It is insane. I lost my mind making that movie. I definitely did. But I'm so excited about it. I mean, like, I am, especially Karen, like when you guys get to see Karen too. Like, I'm just so glad these movies are coming out now and everything. I've had so much fun doing these movies. Like, they've saved my life, honestly. They really have. Let's see, they've stressed me out beyond belief, but they definitely have saved my life. Let's see. Can you do the Matilda impression? You know, that Much Too Good for Children. That one. Roger Corman did did fantastic. Would you buy a BBQ that runs on human farts? A BBQ that runs on human farts? No, I don't think so. Ever pick up Studio 666 on Blu-ray? I did. I just picked that up. I still need to watch that though. Ever Googled yourself? Where is this thing here? I'm gonna make sure I don't miss any of these things. Someone said if I Googled myself. Where was this? Have you ever Googled yourself? There are so many fake photos of you and your transformation over the years. It's mind-blowing. There's so many fake pictures, I know, throughout the years. I remember back in the day, I was on this one message board for the band Ween, and people like didn't like me on there. This was early on. This was like back in the days when I, probably 2004. I just started posting videos online, and people used to Photoshop me, like these fucked up nude photos of me, and like those gross things of that person pooping in his own mouth. They made it be my face, and oh my god, I mean, like it'd be funny to see these things now, but my god, like I went through like, I mean, like that's why I'm glad that I have very thick skin with certain things, because I definitely was somebody that went through like huge levels of like bullying online early on with certain things. When I think about certain things that had happened, I'm like, oh my god. So I do sometimes wish that like this PC things were happening back when it was going on with me. And in a way, I wish that sort of, you know, when we talked about the PC stuff a little bit, but I wish that stuff would more happen in real life. You know, like honestly, fuck the movies. Let the movies be what they want. But like in real life, stop the stuff from happening. Stop the bullying. You know what I mean? Like in schools, if the teachers see it happening, stop it. Send the shithead kid that's the bully to the principal. You know what I mean? Like punish the shithead kid. That's what needs to be done. There needs to be much more paying attention to the being more PC in real life. In real life, in like in your communications with people. Like I said, don't worry about the movies so much. Worry about real life. Make sure this is happening in real life. Make sure you're being appropriate to people in real life. Make sure you're not being a pervert in real life to somebody. You know, if there's a perverted character in a movie, there's a perverted character in a movie. But don't do it in real life. And that's what I think we need to separate. That's what I think is really important now, is a separation between real life and movie. Movies are fantasy and real life. And I think that we need to be more careful with how we are with people in real life. And that's where we need to police it a little bit. The workforce, the jobs, and that stuff, and people that are being, you know, inappropriately talked to, and that's the kind of stuff that needs to stop. That stuff I wish would have, especially like I said, when I was in school, I was bullied very bad, and like it would just kind of go at dead ears. A lot of these teachers didn't give a shit; they didn't care, and it was just like okay, and I just had to put up with this and deal with terrible things that had gone on. And if they would have policed it more there, then it would have been better. That's why I said, police it in real life, police it in schools, police it in the workforce. Quit policing it in films. That's honestly like that should be a hashtag. Quit policing films, police real life, and make it stop happening in real life. Let's see. That's like sort of harsh truths. That was like Cool Duder and his. See, I get on these live streams and get very real. I don't know why I do that. I like take the guard down and like I don't play Cool Duder anymore like I do in the Tuesday videos when I have like that persona, and I'm just me. And sometimes it's kind of it's nice to just come on and be yourself a little bit. Hello from Baltimore, Maryland. That's where I grew up. I was in the Towson area. I'm sure you probably knew that, Ray, but in case you didn't, that's where I originally grew up. Not really. He was just expressing and showing his love for anybody who has issues. Are you going to watch the Alex Leba movie on the 5th? I actually am really looking forward to that. I was honestly kind of hoping Alex Leba would send me like an early link to watch it now. Like, I don't want to lie, I'm dying to see it. I really want to see it, and hopefully he'll put like, maybe he'll do burn-on-demand DVDs or Blu-rays of it. Because that'd be kind of cool. But no, I definitely would like to see it. I think he wanted me to do a cameo in it, but I kind of just wanted to like see it from afar, just because like I did not know what the content of the movie was, and I'm much more careful now with doing cameos and things. But I want to see it though. Paul Rubens is turning 70 in August. That's crazy to think that Pee Wee is turning 70. It's just crazy. You can still buy Bad Ronald on DVD. Well, there's the burn-on-demand Blu-ray that you can get. I don't think there ever was actually a DVD of the movie in America. There's been bootleg DVDs, of course, but I don't know if there was ever. I don't think in America there was ever a legitimate DVD. And honestly, besides the burn-on-demand Blu-ray, which is a press disc though, on Warner Archive for it, I don't think there has ever been anything for that movie, from as far as I know. And that's one of those movies where I swear, with every ounce of my soul, that I'm the culprit for that movie coming to Blu-ray, because I was doing this thing on purpose, where every time, and it was 100% on purpose, guys, every time I would, because I review for companies, and Warner Archive was sending me things to review. So what I was doing, and this is on purpose, every time I had stuff from them, I'd say, oh, I really hope that Warner Archive will put out Bad Ronald. I think that would really sell well. I was always saying that. And the reason I did that, too, was I knew that the guys from Warner Archive watched my videos as well, because they talked about me in one of the podcasts and mentioned the video. So I'm like, okay, these guys are watching. These guys have play at Warner Archive. I'm going to keep saying this. So I said it, and they finally listened and put it out. So it's a little bit like L.A. Beast, I think. Oh, no, is it L.A. Beast, the one with the crystal clear Pepsi? He just kept bringing it up and dredging it on and on and on, and I think that's what did it. The other one I keep bringing up, and it's not working, is Summer Camp Nightmare. I keep bringing up Summer Camp Nightmare and hoping Vinegar Syndrome will put it out, and I guess they can't get it. I mean, like, I'm just going to keep bringing up Summer Camp Nightmare forever until somebody puts that one out. That's one of the other ones I just keep waiting for. Let's see, what films are you looking forward to getting soon? I'm trying to think of what's coming out soon, that's like I'm really excited about. The True Romance Blu-ray, 4K, that looks like a really cool set, though. That one I saw, I'm definitely excited for that one, though. Let's see. Do you like the remake of Hellraiser, the first? I mean, the new one. Yeah, I thought that was okay. I definitely thought. You mean the most recent one? If you mean the most recent one that just came out like a couple years ago, that one I thought was honestly not terrible. It was watchable. It was not by any means amazing, but it was definitely watchable. Thoughts on the adaptation of Winnie the Pooh? I'm excited to watch it. I know the guys that made it, so I'm definitely excited. Hey, congrats on your success. Been watching you because become the best you. Oh, thanks so much. I really appreciate that. Have you seen the 1980s Boogeyman film? I have. I have seen that one. Will it say on IMDb trivia that you hated your time on Screen Bloody Murder? I don't know. I really don't know. And maybe, if somebody puts it there, the thing is though, I didn't hate the cast or anything like that. You know what I mean? And the people like that. It was just like some behind the scenes people and stuff like that. Let's see. Have you watched Friday the 13th TV show? Yeah, I watched a lot of those ones. They filmed a movie with Tom Hanks in my hometown. My stepdad found a replica bill that says for use in movies only. Is that $1 from the movie? Yeah, on movies they have like you're not really supposed to show or allowed to show real money, so they have like this fake money that you can use in movies. And sometimes though, if you don't have it though, you just use real money and you say, hopefully I get it back. But they prefer to use this fake money because then you make sure too, if you're giving $100 bills, you're getting it back. You know what I mean? It's not you're risking real money. But yeah, that's like a prop kind of money you can order to use. And if you look at it too, it's like sometimes the president can have a weird person, different person on the bill, and sometimes like a gag is they make special versions of that money and they put like the producer's picture on it. It's like an inside gag that they do, and you like literally would only see it in the movie for like a split second. Let's see, what is the best and worst part of living in San Diego? The weather, I would say, is the best part, and just like I also really like the area. The area, like I really like the things that I'm near. There's some really cool stores around here. It's not that far to get to LA. So like I think the stuff that I don't like is not just San Diego in general. It's in California in general. Is like my biggest fear of all time is fire. Is fires. Like I'm terrified of fires. Like I don't like anything to do with fires. I don't really like in movies if I have to be near a fire. I don't know. I'm just kind of freaked out by them. I'm freaked out by fires in general. Like I don't know that stuff. And then also like I'm also very very freaked out. You know, on a whole other subject with getting electrocuted. Because as a little kid, I remember plugging in a light and I got shocked so fucking bad that I literally probably should have been dead. I have no idea why it didn't kill me. It was like a total electrocuted, and like that's one of my biggest fears too. It's like, and that's why on any movie too, I'm so careful with like electric cords and water and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is not the right kind of cord. We cannot use this here, and I don't know stuff like that. But the least favorite part is definitely the fires, the wildfires out here. That's what I worry about the most, and not as much about like, oh, if stuff got lost, stuff is stuff. You know what I mean? And that's the way I see it. But I'm more worried about my family, like getting trapped in a fire, like shit like that. That's what scares me. Getting trapped in a house that's on fire, stuff like that. That scares me. I don't give a shit about the stuff. Like I said, you can replace the stuff. It would be sad if the stuff was gone. You can't replace your life. You know what I mean? Like you can't replace your family, and if we die in a fire, we're dead. And that's the kind of stuff that freaks me out. So that stuff. Let's see. You were both hilarious in that masquerade scene. Oh, thanks so much. I'm really glad that you liked it. It was great working with you guys. I hope you guys get to come out here again. And maybe, sometime down the line, we can come out to Australia. And that would be like a dream. To come out, if Lauren could come out and do a movie out with you guys out there. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. That would be like the longest flight of my life. I mean, you guys know from doing it. I could definitely talk to you guys about it. But no, that would definitely be fun to shoot in Australia, though. Oh my God. Have you seen Glenn Danzig's recent vampire western movie? I don't think I've seen that. Have you been to Hollywood? Yeah, I've been to Hollywood a lot. I think pretty much just from doing these movies too, and shooting in all these other areas out there. There's like so few areas in that area that I haven't been to. I mean, in Burbank, Pasadena. Just tons and tons of different spots. I've been all the way up to Fresno. I drove all the way up to there for a movie. So it's kind of all around. Landers, California, like literally like anywhere you can think of. Like until you start going towards San Francisco, that's the one area I've not gotten to go to. I really want to shoot something out there, and it's a dream to go to the Bridges restaurant from Miss Doubtfire. I have this strange fascination with wanting to go there. I don't know why. I just really want to do that. Did you see the trailer for Willow? I'm really looking for. I mean, I think it looks pretty good. In your opinion, what is the worst movie of all time and why? Probably the Prom Night remake. I always talk about that. And then I really hated the movie The Family Man with Nicolas Cage. And why I hated it was I hated the ending. The ending made me so upset that it ended the way it did, like with it being. I don't care about ruining it either. About being a dream and like everything that you thought was good was taken away. And like to me, I can't think of anything worse, in my fucking opinion, than seeing what could be, and then having it, and having this perfect life, and then like waking up, living it, and then having it taken away from you again. I mean, like not having it at the beginning of the movie, having it, and then having it taken away. Like to me, that is the worst movie of all time. Like I cannot stand watching a movie like that. I do not want to watch stuff like that. I hate movies when things like go so horribly wrong like that. So to me, that's the worst movie ever, just because I cannot stand how that movie ends. It's just so Like just, and the other one too that's a sad ending like that too that pisses me off a little bit too, honestly, is The Mist. You finish The Mist without ruining it, and you literally feel like you're gonna throw up. It is just so sickening, that ending to The Mist, and so incredibly dishearteningly sad that you're just like, oh god, you know what I mean? And most people, a lot of people don't like The Mist because that ending just jars them so much. It even jars me a little bit. It really does. Certain endings can really destroy a movie. They really can, or just put you in this like the wrong frame of mind. That's why I don't watch Requiem for a Dream when everything at the end goes so bad and everyone is like strung out in the drugs and their guy's hand and all this stuff. It's just like I can't watch that movie anymore. I just can't. I just watched the Andor Star Wars trailer. It looks interesting. You should work with Keanu Reeves. Well, Keanu Reeves, who knows? That definitely would be, would they say, like a pipe dream. But I'd love to, though. Let's see. Trying to make sure I don't miss any of these, and I'll try and be on here for like 2 hours. So I've definitely been done about 2.5 hours then. Let's see. Rewatching all of your old videos. Especially the high school ones, my favorite. Oh yeah, the ones like why we hated high school. Yeah, people always tell me about how much they like that. Why we hated high school one. Why don't you care about Brendan's Wet Way one is in a bad place and can use your help? Well, anytime Brendan wants to, he can reach out and stuff. And like I said, if he goes to Monster Palooza, I'll definitely see him there, and I'd walk around with him some if he wants. Like I have zero problem with Brendan whatsoever. And like, there's particular people that I never ever ever ever, like that new Sky Ferreira song that came out, like that she said, like, I'm never going to fuck with these people again. Two people in particular, like I never ever 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 for $1,000,000 would ever fuck with, just no matter what, relating to Scream Bloody Murder. But when it comes to Brendan, I have no problem. And like I also agree with, except for those two people, that I don't like negativity. I don't like animosity with people. I don't like bad vibes. I'm really kind of in the place in my life where I don't want that anymore, and I want to make peace with people and anyone that I had problems with. But like I said, there's certain people that are absolutely unexcusable that I never would. Those two particular people, but but Brendan, a lot of people like that, and I never had a problem with Brendan too. Like I said, so hopefully everything could be fine and we can reconnect and stuff like that. I really wanted to have him in my movie. I really did. He didn't want to do it. So hopefully at some point he'll want to be back in front of the camera. Which game do you want to work on but haven't? Which genre? Not drama. I've done drama too. I did this one movie called what was it called now? Why did I forget? Oh, called Trauma. I did that one, and that was a drama movie. That was right before I did Scream Bloody Murder, I believe, and that was really difficult subject matter for me. It was like the character was really rough to play. It was playing a really bad person, somebody that was so out of my nature and stuff. And I know people are going to take that movie when it comes out and take clips of it and put things out of context. And I'm like really I'm going to be disappointed if people do that with that movie. I'm really disappointed. And I also will get with the director and we'll hire cease and desist on it, because I know people will do that. I know they will, because I have some haters that will definitely, they've done shit like that in the past. He's a victim of over 200 horror movies, this man. I have 200 horror movies, yes. When can we expect a new Don and Murph? I don't know. I mean, if I ever can track down MJ again, we'll see. You know what I mean? Have you been watching all the Johnny Depp stuff, trials videos? I watch a lot of them. I don't watch the whole live things, but I do watch the recaps, and I definitely do enjoy looking at some of them. And I've looked at some of the TikTok type things. I don't usually look at TikTok itself, but the ones people reshare on Facebook and other stuff like that. I look at a lot of that stuff. Cursed, I told you. Only the big screen Ernest movies are good ones. Other ones are garbage. I don't know if that's. I mean, I don't think that Ernest Scared Stupid was technically in theaters though, and that's an amazing one. Ernest Scared Stupid is that's the one thing though. When I think about my filmmaking style, I think Ernest is some of the most way of explaining my style, especially Ernest Goes to Camp. That is an amazing movie, and just I don't know, stylistic and everything. I love that movie. That movie does not get enough attention when you really think about it. That movie should be up there should be compared to Meatballs. When you really think about it, I don't know why it isn't. it's kind of compared to as a really fun Ernest movie. But why is it not, like I said, why is it not up there with the classics like Caddyshack and Meatballs and stuff? Because Ernest Goes to Camp it was the first Ernest movie. It's a amazing summer camp film, and it's like when you think about it, it's like it's not in the category that it should be. It's in the category of as Ernest movie, as the best Ernest movie. It's not in the category as an amazing 80s comedy. It's very strange when you think about it. There's certain movies that kind of just get shoved into certain categories and not like given the credit and the attention that they really should. And you look at Ernest Goes to Camp, and it's a very, very genius movie. As crazy as it is very genius when you really look at that movie and the context of that movie and what that movie means and what it's trying to get across. It meant a lot. And that's one of those movies that meant a lot to me. And it also was like got a group of the kids that were like the rejects, the kids that were like looked down on, and I was always me. So I really resonated with that movie because that was the group of kids that I would have been with. Not because I was like the bad kid, like would have gone to like juvenile detention center, but I was the kid that was not looked at as like the reject. So that's why I always loved that movie too, because that was, and I look at that movie now, and I kind of relate to Ernest in some crazy ways because I wear the same shit all the time. I feel very much like Ernest. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like when I do tasks and challenges and have to like put things together, I'm just as bumbling and foolish as Ernest. I think Ernest is essentially me. I think basically I realized as a child, I basically, the person that I am now, I just mimicked. All I ever did was mimic, and I just mimicked certain people. I mimicked Ernest, I mimicked Pee-wee, and then that's kind of what formed who I am. That was who I learned to talk, watching Pee-wee. And like I said, I'm kind of weird these days. I like to break down like what inspired things and what kind of led to this happening, and I've kind of figured out a lot of things. And I think Ernest is kind of like why I'm so fucked up, honestly, is those movies. Is because I like mimic that, and I really thought people acted like Ernest, and it's like, no, that's not how a regular human being acts. But I act that way because that's the only way I know how to. It's just a strange thing. Sean, you still watching? I talked about that. Ernest Goes to Camp isn't streaming anywhere. I know, that's the other thing. It's impossible to find. What do you think of The Game? Oh, the De Niro film? That was a great movie. Who is this guy? Oh, yeah, sometimes random people come on here. Hey, Cheryl, like, I do movie reviews, DVD reviews, and I also direct indie horror films and act as well. When will the movie where it looks like you're in a mental asylum talking to someone getting released? Oh, that's one, Mr. Bleachers. Yeah, that got kind of like delayed because of everything in the world, but from what I saw, they picked up shooting, so hopefully that one will come out soon. I remember like that I had like this monologue that I had to like learn, and I remember like, oh my god, I never rehearsed anything so much in my life because it was like this whole chunk of this thing, and I was like determined no matter what to get this thing down, and I did. But then like I was like, it sort of sucks though, because once I got there and did it, there was like background extras on the side, and they were kind of making noise, and that was when I realized I have a problem with like acting, when there's extras doing too much shit on the side, and and now I basically like try and like do the best I can to block that stuff out, but whew, I got so thrown. I remember doing that because it was just like, wow, there's like someone was like mopping and throwing the mop bucket, and I was just like, well, you're not in the shot, please don't do that. You know what I mean? No one sees that. It's like throwing me. So it's like when I see people like Christian Bale like went crazy in that video, it makes sense in a way, because like if you have certain techniques or you have certain disorders or whatever I've got, whatever the hell it is, it's something, I know, but whatever it is, it's, you can't do, you kind of learn how to do it, like me, and eye contact and all these things I've had to learn to do, and I never talk about these things, but like I said, I come on here like weird cool duder therapy sessions on here. But I'll be on here now for about 7 more minutes. So guys, get in the last minute questions you guys have. I don't think I'll do one of the. I try to do these now every weekend, the best I can. At least why I'm not shooting anything right now. But I don't know if I'll do one next week because I'm going to be at Monsterpalooza. Maybe I'll try if I can figure out on my phone to do some like a little live stream there or something. I don't know. Maybe I can figure that out. That'll definitely something I'll try to do. Let's see. What do you think of the 1990 film Heat, starring Al Pacino? I always liked that movie. That was a movie too. It like, people were always telling me about the movie, and it took me till like I think when the 4K came out or the Blu-ray came out again for a reissue to finally see that movie. Like, it was one of those movies that was like, why did it take me so long to see it? But I ended up really liking it though. Like, I really like the music as well. Will you ever direct the movies to release in theaters? I hope. I mean, at some point, I mean, that's definitely the goal, is to get to that point of doing something that could be a theater release. I really want to do, you know, definitely for Mistletoe, some kind of a premiere for that one. I feel like that one, since it has a really, really big cast, I think there would be a lot of interest for that one. And I know, you know, holiday films, Christmas movies always get a lot of attention. They get way more attention as it is than any other films. People always, I don't know, something about holidays. Like, when it comes to holidays, Christmas ones, people just love them. Distributors are always looking for Christmas movies. They're the ones that are the most kind of requested films. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like, it's kind of like an easy sale, I guess, especially horror ones and stuff. So I think that one will probably do pretty well. So like I said, I really, really would love to do like a fun, like, premiere screening for that one. Maybe too, we can do one for, you know, Woods Witch as well. Let's see, and because like that one too has so many celebrities in that too. Both of them do. So I don't know. It'd be really fun if we can get some of the actors too to come as well to the premieres. Let's see. That would be awesome. Give what we wanted, Brendan. Oh, rejected the movie, at least in theaters. Man, you probably hated Vanilla Sky too. I don't know. Like, Vanilla Sky though, I kind of thought it was okay because I kind of got the context of what that was in a way, because it was supposed to be like this. I don't know. That didn't bother me as much as it did. I hated that ending in The Mist. I know the Mist ending though. It's not that I don't dislike the movie. You know, I like The Mist. I really like The Mist. It's just that ending. It's just like, after it's over and after what happens at the ending, I don't know how to explain it. You just feel sick. You feel like, oh, so like ill with what happened. You're just like so. It's kind of the same way that I felt when I saw the ending to the 6 Feet Under, when you were just like witnessing all this stuff happen, and you know what happens to that show. And it was just like, I remember after that last episode of 6 Feet Under, I was like, my whole house, both my mom and dad were like depressed for like a week. I mean, like the worst depression for a week, just because of what happened in that. What about the ending of the Uncut Gems or No Country for Old Men? Oh, I love Uncut Gems though, but oh, it is sad. It's so tragic. But it's like, I do like that movie though, even though it's so fucking tragic. I love it. I love it. No Country for Old Men, I forgot that a little bit. I remember his, you know, Harvey R. Bourdain's haircut in that weird haircut, but I don't remember the movie as good. They just blocked The Truth of Me. What's that mean? Worst movie you ever saw? I talked about that. Did someone think? Let's see. Have you ever seen Adventureland? I saw that one in theaters. I like that movie. I like movies at theme parks as well. Do you still hang out with Cinestalker? Yeah, we're planning to see him again soon though. I haven't seen him in a long time. Andy Dick. I was going to have Andy Dick in Mistletoe, but then like his phone stopped working. Like everyone I knew tried to text him with the same number, and it wasn't going through. And then like he had all these things happened. So it probably was a good thing no to Andy Dick for Mistletoe. Scared Stupid is one of the best movies ever. I'll fight anyone for it. And I know, and Scared Stupid is amazing. I can see the similarities with your style and Ernest. I know. Yes, I know. Like I said, Ernest to me, I relate to that character so much. Even watching that, even Ernest is interactions with women, the way that he talks to women is the same way that I do it. It's like I don't know any other way. I'm like Ernest. I'm fucking Ernest P. Worrell, and it's like I don't know why, but that's who I picked up. The things that he does, the things that he does too, especially when he does those peculiar characters and those weird voices and would jump into characters. I do that all the time when I emulate certain people. It's just like people that I emulate everybody. I have an impression of everybody. It's just this weird weird thing. I guess we discovered that I'm Ernest P. Worrell watching this, you know, on tonight's live stream. Let's see, favorite character actor. Probably Lynn Shay. I think Lynn Shay is probably one of the top, I would say. And then Stephen Trabalowski, you know, who was from, Groundhog Day, you know, as Ned Ryerson, the one, you know, who says, watch that step, it's a doozy. That guy, you know, he's in so many things. He's always playing teachers, and he's on TV shows and stuff. And he was on Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. He was on Single White Female, tons of stuff. He's so good. I think he's probably one of the best. He's somebody too. I even approached him about one of my movies, but he can't do movies that are not SAG. So hopefully at some point when I could get to do that, a SAG production, then I can get Tabardowski, because I would love to get him to play like one of the teachers in the film, or have him play something so different that he's never done, and that would be kind of fun. And have him play like a really huge role in the movie too. How many movies do you actually have, and where do you put them? I have some stuff in like storage tubs, but I have most of the stuff out in my room. I have some stuff in binders, stuff that I like really don't need to keep the things for. I keep the paper, but I don't need to keep the case. That's only for certain things. But I probably have now, in total, movie-wise, I mean 7,000 maybe in everything, like in total of everything in total. It's got to be something like that. Who will win in a fight, Johnny Depp or Turd? I mean, Heard. I don't know. I think Ernest Goes to Jail is underrated. No, Ernest Goes to Jail is great. The Clink, the Slammer. What does he say? I forget how he says that. But that, and I also cry too, in Ernest Goes to Jail with him, with his the jailmate that he has, like his friendship and stuff, and when he's leaving. Even as a kid, I was crying to that. Like, I love that movie. And like, I don't know. Like, those are great movies. Those Ernest movies. Like, I don't know. They're amazing movies to me. I know, and if you don't like Ernest movies, or you can't at least sit through them, though, I feel like it's just like, oh. Did you see Jared Fogler's recent picture? No. There's a new picture of him? Let me see if I can find that. Jared. That was the Subway guy that got arrested for all those horrible things that he did. But where's like a new picture? 2022? Let me see if there's anything there. Oh, I guess that's a picture of him now. I guess that's him. He's like, oh yeah, he's like real. He's still like a thin guy. He's got like a weirder look though now, like even weirder look. Yeah, I think that's him. He's got like a odd thing going on. Oof. But yes, let's see. I kind of thought that he would be like 400 pounds now or something. That was kind of what I think that's what a lot of people were suspecting was what would happen to him. But anyway, though, guys, I've been on here now for 2 hours. This is crazy. I've been on here this long. But anyway, though, guys.